my name is Rajat Barmecha. I'm 36 years old. I'm an actor. I live in Mumbai, and I was born in a very small village in Rajasthan. The name of the village was Ladnu. That's where my dad is from, and my mum, she's from a neighboring village called Bidasar. They both were obviously, they met through people and then they got married, and I happened. Okay. So when I was very young, we moved to Delhi. So I've studied in Delhi. Yes, I'm also a Delhi boy. I've studied here. I went to Bal Bharati Public School. And then when I was 18, I moved to Bombay. Initially, for the first few years, the plan was to learn diamond jewelry business because my brother was into it. And then eventually start something to do with diamonds. मैं हीरा तो नहीं बन सका, हीरो बन गया. It's a bad joke which eventually will keep happening at some point. But then I didn't enjoy that part of it. So for 2 weeks I tried, but then I was very, very passionate about acting, so I wanted to try. I started giving auditions, and then at 19 I got my first film, which was Udaan. At 20 I shot that film, which was Udaan, and at 21 that film released. This is the basic background. So most of us are like a little basic aware of where I come from. Now I know a lot of you, like behind when I was talking to everyone, a lot of you are interested in knowing more about how Udaan happened, why it happened, what did I do with Udaan, what happened after that, and all those questions. But that's exactly something that I want to avoid talking about, because I've already spoken about that for 15 years now. So I want to go a little deeper into who I am as a person. So life, I feel, has two very important things which most of us feel at some point we all go through. One is success and one is failure. So now let's talk about success first. I'm not going to take a lot of time in this segment of the conversation. Success is basically different at different age groups. The age group you are in right now, success would be different from what a 50-year-old person would think success would be, right? And at 21, my peak idea of success was that I was walking the red carpet at the most prestigious film festival in the world, which is Cannes Film Festival, with my debut movie Udaan. In that phase of my life, I was meeting people like Robert De Niro. I was meeting people like Brad Pitt. I met people like Shah Rukh Khan. And the person who introduced me to Shah Rukh was Priyanka Chopra. And if I remember correctly, Priyanka's exact words were, "Hey Shah Rukh, meet Rajat. He just did his first film and he's a phenomenal actor. I think you should watch his film." So now the 21-year-old me, that is the peak idea of success, and I'm the living proof of that. So in that moment, I was like, okay. And then I think someone was talking about a national award. I did a short film which won a national award. So I think everything that could go right for an actor at 21, I was living all of it. Now some of you would feel, why am I praising my own self? कि मैंने ये किया, इससे मिला हूँ, उससे मिला हूँ. So we will also go a little into failures. After walking that prestigious red carpet at Cannes, after doing a film like Udaan, for the next at least 5 years, I had no work at all. None, zero. There were films that were being offered to me which I didn't like. The artist in me wanted to do more. And that the films that I wanted to do, they were not being offered to me, because still a lot of bigger actors were still playing the college boys. So there was no scope for a young 21-year-old to do films at that point. This is 2010 I'm talking about. So now, after that, initially obviously you have money because you've just done a film. Eventually money runs out. So then came a phase when I had no money, and there was a phase when I was genuinely broke, and I asked people around me to help me financially. And then a lot of people I asked for help, they made me feel very, very small. In that moment, I felt like, you know, that is the lowest you can get in life, and that is failure. Now again, you would be like, I just said, each one of us go through hardships. We all have success, failure. So why am I talking about this? The reason I'm telling you about success and failure and my success and my failure is because none of it matters. Like it genuinely, literally, and I mean when I say this, it doesn't matter. Because, you know, all of us here present and around the world, we all wear masks. Now, what is a mask? A mask is something that we wear on a daily basis, trying to be someone we are not. So, I could be wearing a mask of a father, a son. The mask could be of a rich person, a poor person, fair, dark, thin, fat. It could be Spanish, it could be Indian, it could be right, it could be wrong. Every single day we are wearing masks, and we are trying to imagine that this is who we are. But deep inside there is a part of us which is called a soul. Now, you know, again it can get very cliche of ki soul hi sab kuch hai, soul hi. I'm not going to get there. But then, you know, if you remove that mask, deep inside, we all, like each one of us, are a part of the same consciousness. But because of this mask, we all feel we are all different. You know, there are times when you meet someone and you say, ki, oh, you know, he seems like such a good soul, or she seems like such a good soul. The reason we feel that is in that moment they didn't have the mask on. So you instantly connected with that personal energy which runs in all of us. Now, okay, now if I talk about mask and if I talk about failure, success, it doesn't matter. So am I saying that kuch karna hi nahi chahiye? What is the point of studying? What is the point of doing a job? What is the point of making money? What is the point of feeling hatred? What is the point of feeling envious? It is important. All of this is important, but it is important for the mask. Now, how you react, how the mask will react to all these situations is what the bigger journey is all about. I personally strongly believe that all of us have chosen to take this life. It's not like we were just put here कि okay, ये इधर पैदा हो जाएगा, ये इधर पैदा हो जाएगा. I think we've all chosen our own paths, and every success, every hardship, every failure is something we put for ourselves before we take this lifetime, for us to learn something out of that, so that we can put into use that particular learning into becoming a better version of your soul. So that's why all this is important, because if we don't have these emotions, if we don't have these feelings, we will never be able to learn what we were supposed to learn to become and grow as a soul, basically. Now here I want to talk about a very beautiful book that I love. It's a book called Siddhartha. It's by Hermann Hesse. And that is one book I love. And that book, you know, talks about this boy whose name is Siddhartha. And he is also in the times when Gautam Buddha existed. So everyone, he wants to explore spirituality. He wants to learn what spirituality is all about. So initially he goes around monk. Then he feels that, you know, I've never lived the life of karmi, which is like, you know, I've never known lust. I've never known money. I've never known power. So how would I, like, you know, say that this is what I like if I've not even experienced the other side of it? He goes around experiencing lust, he experiences power, he experiences business, money, all of this. At that point, someone tells him, you know, there's this person called Gautam Buddha, and he's the enlightened one, and I think you should follow him, and maybe even get enlightened. And after following him, the book, the sar of the book is that you cannot follow a Gautam Buddha and be Gautam Buddha. You have to follow who you are meant to be and become who you are meant to be. So most of us here, like, you know, especially at a younger age, we are very confident with the idea of society ने ये बोला है, और मम्मी ने ये बोला है, or my teachers have said this, so we have to do this, my parents have said this, we have to do this, or this is how it works. I think eventually, in the bigger picture of scheme of things, I think you have to learn to trust that gut feeling, that, you know, you call it gut feeling in the book The Alchemist, the Omen, you call it the Sixth Sense, you call it whatever. It is something deep inside, and that is the voice of your soul. If you start listening to that voice in literally each decision of your life, I don't think so you would ever go wrong with any decision. Obviously, you might still have hardships. It's not like if I follow my omens, I never get into the wrong direction. But I still get out of it learning something that I did not. Like, I'll give you an example. Like, there was a point when I was trying to get something very bad, and for some reason it wasn't happening. And I kept trying, it wasn't happening. And then in that moment, I was like, okay, people say you have to learn out of every situation. So what is this situation trying to teach me? And after sitting with myself, I was like, I think it's teaching me patience. So then once I had this understanding, I was like, I think if patience is something that my soul needs to learn, let's start practicing in everything that I do. So like one example would be, and it's very like, there's also a saying, like, something that I read somewhere, the best spiritual thing that you can do is to just have fun. So like, we make it easy. It is no rocket science. It's not like a hardcore thing that being spiritual is about wearing some particular clothes and being like a yogi. You can be like you and I and still be extremely spiritual. Only your connect with your own self has to be strong enough. So once I got to know that, patience is something that I need to work on, I started implementing it in the smallest of things that I was doing every day. So like at night, if I went to drink water, I went to the kitchen. And there's a ghada in my kitchen, and once the water is very little, you have to tilt the ghada, because otherwise the flow is very, very like come. So then every time I would go and the water was less, I would tilt it. And then that day when I thought about patience, I think I'm being impatient. I literally have to go back to my room. So it's not like I have to be somewhere important that I need this water to come quick. So then I just put the tap on and I let the water flow as it is. I did not rush. I did not feel like, I'm in a hurry. And literally small things like that made me so patient in life that eventually people around me started feeling that there's a sense of calmness that I come with. There's a sense of ease I have within myself, and it all came with practice. It's not something that, one day I can wake up and I can be like, okay, from today I'm spiritual. It doesn't work like that. It is a practice. I'm not a big believer of teachers. There are two beautiful teachers sitting right here. I'm not talking about you, sir, and ma'am. I'm talking about teachers of life. A lot of people feel, we need a guru to guide us. We need a person to tell us how to practice spirituality, what to do with spirituality. I don't believe in teachers because I don't believe in one teacher. I feel if you open your soul out to the universe, every single person you meet, every single book you read, your teacher will just appear out of nowhere. It is because there's something I need to learn from you today, or there's something one of you might have to learn from me today, and that becomes my teacher in that moment. If you tell me something and I feel, wow, this is something that I never thought of, and suddenly you are my teacher in that moment. It's a song that I listen to and suddenly out of nowhere it makes me think about something which I was thinking about long before, and I'm like, wow, this is such a good reminder. I think that song was my teacher in that moment. So I don't think we have to hold on to one person and depend on that person for our spiritual gain. I think the biggest spiritual teacher is your own self. You just have to find that spark, find that energy within you, because once you do, it's like a wildfire. It ignites and then it goes crazy. So I still remember around 2015-16, I started backpacking a lot. I was not that spiritual. I was trying to be just a good human being like all of us, but I was not much into anything. But then, if I can give you a couple of things that you at this age, you have to do is travel by yourself. I think what solo traveling has taught me spiritually, no book, nothing in this world, no person, no parents, friends, teachers, no one can teach you what you will learn when you're in your own company. And once you get very comfortable with your own company, today I don't think I need anyone in this world to be happy, to be content. It's not out of ego, it's not out of disrespect to my parents or my friends. I love them. But then does my life depend on their presence in my life? No. They make it beautiful, they add value to it. But my life in itself is whole. Like, I don't need a second person or a second thing to give me that happiness. And that's the reason when I was talking about, most of you know me as the Udan boy. It's very easy for us to give labels to things, to people, know people through their accomplishments, like someone because someone is somewhere, not like someone because someone is annoying or a failure. I feel eventually we are all just playing a part in trying to become a better version of yourself, because that's the reason each one of us has come. Talking about the topic for today, it's behind the silhouette. So I feel the mask we all wear is the silhouette we carry. And if you, like, silhouette is what? You put light on an object, you see their silhouette and whatever the science behind it. But if I'm wearing a mask, you will always just see that mask, and then in that sense, all of us are very different from each other. But as soon as you try to go behind that silhouette, you remove that mask off, and the first thing you will observe is that literally there's not even a single difference between you and I. The gender, the class, the caste, everything comes because of the mask. Because as soon as you take it off, there's nothing that can differentiate or that can change that fact that we are one. And another thing I want to say before I leave is avoid using plastic, single-use plastic as much as you can. I've not used a single plastic bottle in the last 8 years, and I try and I shoot, I travel all around the world. I still haven't used it. If I feel I can do it, because there are times when I've been thirsty and I've not found a place where I can have water, I've waited it out. I'm not going to die. So I'm taking all these topics because I think the stage is respectful, big enough that it might go to even that one person, and if that person starts doing something, it's great. And I will end this thing by just one thing, that like I said, that ours is a beautiful generation. I think this generation and we as people are capable of anything. We are the ones who can be anything that we want to. So when we can be anything that we want to, always, whenever you want to be someone, always first choose to be kind. Thank you.